SQL Studio is Foundry's home for writing SQL against your data. Datasets, ontology objects, virtual tables, the works. In this video, we're going to stay narrow and just look at how it works against datasets, because that's the on-ramp most people need first. By the end, you'll know how to open Studio, point to that dataset, run a query, and write the results back out as a new dataset. Before we get started, a quick word for our founder.
Discover how Palantir customers unlock more value from Foundry and AIP thanks to our live instructor-led trainings. We are Ontologize, a group of former Palantir engineers who love teaching. We've trained thousands of Palantir users at leading organizations around the world. Unlock the full potential of your Palantir deployment by going to ontologize.com.
You're going to need some data to participate here, but you can really use any data to demonstrate this. We have a couple of raw datasets here that we're going to be playing with. So the way that you're going to access SQL Studio is through global search. So from anywhere, you can hit Control-J and search for SQL Studio. And you're going to click on SQL Studio. And here we are in SQL Studio. So let's take a moment to talk about what SQL Studio is and how it's different from other tools that you might have seen in Foundry. So SQL Studio is Foundry's interactive hub for writing SQL against your data, which also includes your ontology. And if you've used code repositories before, you might have noticed that you can also write SQL in code repositories. So what's the point of this tool and how is it different than writing SQL in a code repository? First of all, SQL Studio is the interactive workbench. You open it, you can point it against a dataset or several, write a query, see the results very quickly, iterate quickly. It runs on Furnace, which is Foundry's SQL warehousing engine, which is what makes it fast and feel like a more normal SQL editor that you might be used to, so closer to Snowflake or BigQuery's UI than to a pipeline tool. You can also materialize results as a dataset output, but the main job is querying, exploration, and analysis. On the other hand, SQL in code repositories is the production pipeline tool. And so that's what you're going to want to opt for when you're trying to author production pipelines. But for things that are more analytical or exploratory in nature, SQL Studio can be a great option. Now that we've talked about what SQL Studio is and how it might be different than other tools you've seen, let's take a little tour of the UI. First of all, you're going to select a project that houses datasets that you want to run your queries against. Note that you can run your queries against data sources or object types, but for this purpose, we're going to be focusing on data sources. So for now, I'm going to select the project that has the datasets that I want to do my analysis on. So I'm going to click on Select Project, click on SQL Studio, and then click on Select. So you're bringing a project in here, not a folder and not a dataset. So if you click on Select, you'll see on the side here, there's a file explorer that's going to allow you to peruse the datasets that are available in this project. That is where we're going to browse the datasets that we have, insert them into code. We can also copy the RID and the path from here. Now, the unit of work that you're dealing with here is a SQL worksheet. So all of your queries are going to be written in a SQL worksheet. You have the opportunity to save those worksheets privately, so that's going to be something that only you can see, or in a project, which means that anybody who has access to that project can see them. The Scratchpad here is where you're going to write your SQL. Note here that you'll also have this SQL AI editor, and it will have access to the code that's in your Scratchpad. So eventually, we're going to have this write our code for us, but let's first practice importing datasets to understand what that flow looks like. So if we go back to the Explorer and expand raw data again, let's start with service visits. So if you hover over a dataset, you can click on this icon here to insert the select statement into your code. So here we have a select statement. You'll see that it's referring to this dataset through its RID, or resource identifier. Now if I run this, there we go. You'll see I have a preview of 10,000 rows, and I can also download what I see here. Now let's add in a couple more select statements. The point of what we're doing here is we're going to put all of the select statements into our Scratchpad, and then the AI agent here will be able to see those and we'll be able to use those to craft our query for us. So let's also pull in addition to service visits, let's pull in franchises and then contracts. And whatever datasets you're working with, you can do the same on your end. Now I'm going to go hop into the AI pane here, and I'm going to go write a query. So I can say something like join scheduled visits to contracts on contract visit.id equals contracts.id, then to franchises on contracts, franchise ID equals franchisees.id. So that's step 1. Use the contracts started at to derive the visit month. Produce a visit month column formatted as year, month. Step 3, group by visit month, franchisee name, and region. Step 4, return visit month, franchisee, region, scheduled visits. So this is going to be the total row count per group, and completed. So completed is going to be the count where status is completed. We can also expand this a little bit if we want more space. And then lastly, we want to order by visit month, then franchisee. Let's try that out. So I'm going to hit send. And then we're going to be generating our response. So here we have the query. So I'm going to click on apply and run. And there we go. So here we have the visit month, the franchisee, the region, the scheduled visits, and the count of completed visits. And there's our result. So from here, I can do a couple of different things. I could download the data, if that would be useful to me. I also might want to output this as another Foundry dataset if I want to retain the results or send them somewhere, or maybe use them in some sort of contour analysis. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to save the result as a dataset. So here's how you would do that. In order to save this as a dataset, rather than using create table like you might be used to, we're going to be using the create or replace table operation so that we can run it multiple times without getting an error. So we're going to add that in here. So create or replace table. And what we're going to put here is the path where we want that resulting data set to live. So where do you get that resulting path from? Little trick here. So if you click on recent and go back into this project, open that up in a new tab, what you want to do is grab the path of the folder where you want these results to go. And the path of the folder where we want this to go is our analytics table folder. And so in this side rail right here, you can actually grab the path right from here. So if I click on copy full path, I can go ahead and paste that in backticks right in the code. I'm going to add another / here. So I need to define what is the name of this output dataset. And so I'm going to call this monthly visits summary. So this final term here is the name of the dataset. And then if I hit run, you're going to notice something different happens here. So when I click run, you'll see that it's triggered a build. It was quick, but it happened, and now it's executing the query. It's actually building an output dataset. And now we have our built output dataset. And so that's monthly visit summary. And this is a regular Foundry dataset that you can use just like you would any regular dataset. Before we go look at this dataset, check it out, let's go ahead and save our work. And so right now I have saved this as a private worksheet. I'm going to want to save this in a project. So I'm going to click on move to project up here. And I'm going to call this monthly visits summary worksheet. And then I'm going to click on save. And now anybody else with access to this project will also be able to take a look at this worksheet. Now I'm going to go take a look at this output data set here. And now that I've saved my worksheet, I'm going to go ahead and click on this output data. If that doesn't render for you yet, just go ahead and refresh the page after you've saved. Then we can open up that created data set. Here we are. You'll see that this looks like any sort of transform output that you've seen before. Let's take a little tour. You'll see that this has lineage, so you can see the inputs. You can see where it was updated. And so if you mouse over this, you can see the actual SQL query that was used to generate this data set. You'll see that it has a history. Just one snapshot transaction by me, 7 seconds. You'll see under details that it has a job spec and a schema. And if we look at the history, you could actually interrogate the build a little bit. If you're used to looking at the build reports from your datasets, if you want to click into this one, you'll notice that it looks a little bit different. You'll see here that the job type is Transforms Furnace. So that's different. You'll also notice that it's substantially faster than your other builds. If I click on Explore Lineage, you will see this has lineage just like you would expect any sort of transform output to have. And you'll notice there's a new color here. You have this lime green for a furnace transform. Now you have your output data set and you're ready to use it just like you would any other sort of data set. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this useful. Be sure to let us know what you want to see next in the comments.